Hello and welcome to Member Musing, a video podcast series that will bring audiences closer to the insightful conversation on the state of the MENA, leisure and entertainment industry, also throwing light on innovative services, products and achievements of Menalac members. Today, I'm joined by Myron Pincomb, CEO and Board Chairman of the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards. Welcome to Member Musing, Myron.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Very good.
To begin with, Myron, it would be great to hear a bit more about IBCCES and what you do. So, can you tell me about the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards beginnings? How and why was the board founded, and what are the main principles of the company?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be glad to. So, the company was founded about 20 years ago, and our focus initially was on healthcare. So there's a lot of different disorders, whether it's autism or Down syndrome, ADHD, a lot of different things were affecting our children especially. So the company was founded with principles on healthcare, and even healthcare is our primary market today. But we also work in a variety of other industries, such as education, where we train teachers, works with Ministry of Education. And then within the last 5 or 6 years, we've had a really heavy focus on the travel and entertainment space. And some people may ask why we are in the travel and entertainment space, but several large global attractions came to us about 6 years ago. They had seen what our success was in healthcare and our reputation. And they said, we have so many guests that come through our gates every day or come to our hotels and who have these different disorders. And we want to make sure we know how to serve them. So what we did is we put together a group of industry leaders from both the travel space, the healthcare space, the education space, and we created industry standards around how a guest should be served. And then we also created best practices. And then we actually had credentialed and accredited standards and training programs to go around it. So we really took something that was kind of looked at casually before, and we made it much more professional and brought it up to the standard. But really, it all fits with our overall mission, and our guiding principles for our organization is how do we improve the quality of life for individuals with determination. And we do a lot with autism. We'll talk a lot about that today, but we also work in other areas of accessibility. But it really doesn't matter whether you're a ride operator or you're a lifeguard or you're the CEO of an organization. You deserve professional standards. We feel you deserve professional training, and then you should be recognized in a professional manner when you go above and beyond to help hone your skills and better serve the guests that you serve. So that's kind of how we started. We again, our fastest growing segment, like I said, is in the travel and entertainment space, and it's in some ways it's sad that we're growing so fast, but because some of these disorders affect all of us globally, but it's also good that we can help. So that's why we're here.
What was the reasoning then by joining Menalac, so with the Middle East and North Africa's Leisure and Entertainment Attractions Council, so one council to another?
Yeah. So Menalac's been great. So in our line of work, we deal with a lot of associations and accrediting bodies. We work in 87 different countries, but one of the things that we've learned is there's not a one size fits all to every region of the world. And I think that's one thing. There's different cultural norms, there's different regional needs and local needs. And that's one thing that I think we really appreciate the help from Menalac is really, as we expanded to the MENA region, helping us understand the needs of the region. And that's really been priceless in a lot of ways, because they've helped us a lot with that.
As you have already briefly touched upon, Myron, the world we live in has lots of people of determination, those who might have physical disabilities, but cognitive and social conditions like autism. And the world has not always been as accessible for these people. Obviously, the leisure, entertainment and amusement industry is one that has quite a lot to consider in making venues more accessible and inclusive. You've got a big deal about health and safety for everyone. But overall, this is something that the leisure and entertainment industry should be striving for, to make sure every consumer enjoys their time at a venue, at an attraction, a theme park, etc. Can you give us some insight as to the evolution of accessibility and inclusion you've seen in the MENA region, but also what gaps do you still feel could be bridged?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. And again, we believe fun is for everybody. So that's one of our big mottos. But I think worldwide we've seen the importance of accessibility and inclusion become a much higher priority for everybody. And a lot of it's because these different conditions are affecting everybody at some level. So, and one of the latest numbers that were released by the CDC is 1 in 36 children are diagnosed with autism. Those numbers came out a couple weeks ago. So we're not dealing with just a small subset of the population. This is a large group that we're looking at. And I think one of the major shifts we've seen, especially in the MENA region, is the shift in mindset. People with disabilities are no longer defined by what they can't do, but by what they can do. And I think Dubai is really leading the stage here. I love what the government of Dubai has done is even just as referring to them as people of determination. It seems like a small play on words, but it really changes your whole outlook on everything. And it's really opened up a lot of conversations. But is there room for growth? Yes. Yeah, I think we've just begun. So there's a lot of room for growth in every country. There's no country that does it perfect. Every country is struggling at different ways with getting their hands around it. But again, I think a lot of the countries in the Middle East have grown in this area probably more than any of the other countries in the world that we work in, and we work all over the world. But it's it's a breath of fresh air to see how people are just kind of looking at things differently. So that's very nice.
Part of IBCCES's offerings is to accredit venues and companies and institutes with certified autism as a certified autism center. Are you able to just give us an idea as to what, in general, a certified autism center looks like within the maybe leisure and entertainment industry?
Sure. Yeah, I'd be glad to. And I'll use one example is Aquaventure, which is right there in Dubai. So they just completed the program, but they have about 900 employees there. And so part of the requirements for a center is 80% of the guest-facing employees need to be trained. So they chose to go through training of all 900 employees. But then it's not just a matter of training. Part of our programs are, well, they're 3 or 5 year certification programs, and we're actively involved with the partner throughout the whole 3 to 5 years. But again, part of what Aquaventure did as well is we went through and created sensory paths within the parks, and we helped them redo all their signage. So they put sensory guides on the signage, created programs that they could offer on the website to attract guests from the very beginning. So these are very in-depth programs. It's not just a 3-minute video that you watch and you say you're trained and ready to go. It's very extensive. We work with them hand in hand for the whole way through. And then even after the certification is done and announced, they have several key account managers that we assign to each partner. And some of these accounts we talk to on a weekly basis. So if they have a family that's coming in with Down syndrome or something like that, we help them plan a path for them. If they want to plan a special summer camp, if they want to have a special event, there's just a lot of different reasons. But we're in, if not weekly, some monthly conversations at the least with all of our different partners, and it really kind of helps change the culture of the organization and just make it much more accessible.
Do you hear much from the organizations and the venues that you work with and that you give the Certified Autism Center accreditation to? Do you hear about the impact that that's having and the way that you've helped that venue have an impact on families and people with autism?
We do, yeah. And as an organization, we measure. So if you were to see our offices either in the US or in Dubai, there's huge screens on the wall with dashboards. We measure everything. So a lot of some of the examples, SeaWorld has our program in all their parks worldwide. They've called it the most successful marketing program in the history of the company. And to give you an idea, when they announced one of their parks in the US, they had 400 families that showed up on day one. And then they also had 6 billion hits on their website in the first 30 days, just on the autism piece. So We measure impact in a variety of ways. That one's more of an on marketing side. Guest satisfaction scores, we measure all. The impact is huge. And I think one of the things that surprised us the most is it not only has an impact on the guests that are coming into the park, but it has a big impact on the employee morale. Because again, if you just look at the numbers, I mean, you know, you have an organization with 300 or 400 employees. The odds are that several of them are either going to have a child with autism or have a sibling with autism, or it's going to hit home for the majority of them. And it's just a great boost in employee morale to see that their company is investing in something that means something to them. But yeah, we track a lot of impact. We attract, you know, as far as number of guests from certain regions, and we have all that data and that we publish in impact studies. But I think that's one of the big things about the program as well, is we're learning that people with determination in this market it's not just the right thing to do from a human perspective, but there's a large business ROI in it as well, because it's an underserved market. And for a company to be able to come in and be able to serve these guests, it really opens a lot of doors.
But I think that's a really interesting point you said there. Actually, it's not just the offerings a venue gives to its consumers, but it's how it affects the employees, and then actually how that trickles into, you know, the rest of the industry as well. So, you know, IBCCES being a part of that, you must feel, you know, very proud and big job satisfaction when you can see all these things coming together, and particularly now that the industry is booming here in the MENA region. I think there's, you know, quite a lot of need for everyone to look at how they can be as accessible and as inclusive as possible. Myron, how's IBCCES planning to support the MENA region's leisure and entertainment sector, perhaps over the next few years, in expanding their accessibility and inclusive offerings?
That's a great question. So last year we opened our office in Dubai. We're continuing to build our staff there. We brought on a couple more team members just last month, and we will continue to build out that piece. We've also have multiple projects that are started in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait. So we've got projects all over the region. But we will, for right now, we will continue to have Dubai as our Middle East, our MENA headquarters. And you know, that's the beauty about Dubai, is from a transportation standpoint, it's kind of a hub for an airport. It's easy to serve the whole area for there. But yeah, we're definitely planning on adding a lot more team members and continuing to grow.
And you've got a project, I believe, between the Dubai government that you're sort of looking to grow. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so one of the initiatives of the Dubai economy and tourism and the Dubai government as a whole is to make Dubai the most accessible city in the world. So they came to us about a year ago, because we've done similar projects in other cities around the world. But our goal is to train and certify all the locations that would be touched by a tourist if they were to come in Dubai. So starting with the airport, and then there's 700 plus hotels. There's attractions. So yeah. It is, yeah. And that's one of the reasons we're building our team out so heavily in Dubai. But literally, that project was launched in January. We're full speed with it now. And again, most of your major attractions, either from a hotel standpoint or from an attraction standpoint, are going through the process now, and it'll be part of a large announcement towards the end of the year.
Cool. And is there a sort of a deadline for this project? Did the government giving you a set date as a goal?
Yeah, I think the goal would be to be able, so what we're looking for is a citywide certification. And it's based off the standards of programs we've worked in other cities, but the goal would be to announce that in spring of next year, so 24. So we're trying to get everybody trained and up and ready to go. Accessibility is a big component of the DET plan for marketing and tourism over the next couple of years. So that's why we want to make sure we're prepared for these guests when they come.
That's fantastic. Really exciting, huge project for you, IBCCES, and obviously Dubai as well. And perhaps that might influence other cities in the MENA region that have, you know, tourism goals. We have like Saudi, for example, and we know Qatar and Bahrain are sort of wanting to boost their tourism numbers. Are there any other goals that IBCCES has in general for the company?
Yeah, I think just in general, like I mentioned, our mission is really how do we improve the quality of life for those with special needs. But yeah, and I think you kind of alluded to it before, but I mean, a lot of times we hear our team members say that we're not even going to work. So it's just, it feels so rewarding when we go do things, and then, you know, when we're working and on these different projects. But our goal is really, you know, how do we make the whole world more accessible for others? And you know, how do we, we're not going to do it by ourselves. We need partners like DET and other groups to come help us do it. But that's kind of the mission of our organization.
That's lovely. As I say, in the leisure and entertainment industry, we talk about putting a smile on everyone's face, and so you have quite a big job there supporting the venues and organisations that want to do that, in ensuring they do that for genuinely everybody.
Right. Yes. Yeah. It's fun to work. It's fun to make sure everybody has fun. I'm going to say it. So, yeah.
Myron, this has been a very insightful discussion. I really appreciate you speaking with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, and we're glad to be members of Menalac.
We're definitely excited to hear more about IBCCES within the region, particularly in Dubai, and we'll watch your projects.
Okay. Thank you for all you do as well. So I appreciate it.
To our audience, don't forget to follow Menalac's website and social media pages, as well as, of course, heading to the International Board of Credentialing and Continuing Education Standards website to learn more about inclusion, training, and accreditation. All these links can be found in the description section of this episode. Thank you to our audience for tuning in to Member Musing. I will be back soon with another Menalac member with more profound conversation about the leisure, entertainment and amusement industry. Bye for now.